Okay, Chris Bolschweiler here, finally coming at you with the last of the code topics that we are going to be discussing for this class. Previously, we've talked about animations and transforms in CSS properties, but now we are going to conclude with transitions. So I want to pull up my HTML file because in order to explain this, I want to go over what I have here. So I'm going to demonstrate this first, and then we'll go farther into detail. So let's pick a shape. I have square and rectangle here. We'll just leave it at square. The text inside the box, or the square or rectangle, let's just go ahead and type hello. Now the duration in seconds, what this is, I have it's specifying how long the animation, or excuse me, how long the transition will take place. How long does it take to transition from point A to point B? Let's go ahead and leave that at 2 seconds so you can see what that looks like. Over here, my properties, we can change the width and height, or we can change the width or the height. I added this in here to make it a little more practical. So if a user, let's say, is playing a JavaScript game, or they're playing some sort of activity, and they want to change the width or the height or both, this would be a real world practical transition that would take place. So let's go ahead and create this transition and see what happens. You'll notice that nothing has happened yet because I have here the elements shown are triggered by a mouse over JavaScript event. So JavaScript is going to help me with these transitions. Now you can see I have my hello inside the box. I'm changing both the width and the height, and the duration is 2 seconds. I hover over that. To get from the smallest square to the biggest square takes place over 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and change that to 5 seconds. Let's leave everything the same, create another transition, and hover over, and we can see that that gradually takes place over 5 seconds. Now you can play around with this a little bit. You can type anything you want. We can transition a rectangle. We could do all of this. Let's just change the width, create the transition, and watch it go to work. It's really a neat function to play around with. Let's go ahead and take a look at my CSS file that I have. And there's not too much in this CSS file. I'm changing my width, I have the background color, and I have my inline display of my vertical line here. Well, what I want to pay attention to is the JavaScript file here. This is where my transitions are triggered, and I have my get element by name shape, get element by ID, the text for the text that you want to input in your square or your rectangle, the duration right here for how long you want the transition to take place. And what does it do? It edits which CSS property. It edits the length or the height, or it edits both. And then down here farther is where it's triggered. So similar to animations, although animations are taking place right away, a transition, I can specify anywhere from 0 to however many seconds I want it to. and I could specify the width and the height, or the width or the height. In a more complex example, I could have created more dimensions, circumference, circles, and stuff like that. But for presentation purposes and for the purposes of the assignment, I have kept it simple here just to demonstrate how to design, define, and trigger a CSS3 transition. Thank you.